So, okay. Is my voice audible? You can write in the chat box. So I hope the audio is audible. So good evening all. So welcome to my webinar, and today's topic is webinar. Today's topic is solar system, and it is live on YouTube also. So this is by Krishnendu Patro. So let's start. The solar system is a gravitationally bound system of the sun and the objects that orbit it, either directly or indirectly. Of the objects that orbit the sun directly, the largest are the 8 planets with the remainder being smaller objects, the dwarf planets, and small solar system bodies. Of the objects that orbit the Sun indirectly, the moons, two are larger than the smallest planet, Mercury. There are eight planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. There was a planet called the Pluto, but after 2006, because of its smaller size, it became a dwarf planet. Don't be confusing that Sun is a planet, it's a star. The solar system is formed 4.6 billion years ago from the gravitational collapse of a giant interstellar molecular cloud. The vast majority of the system's mass is in the Sun, with the majority of the remaining mass contained in Jupiter. The four smaller inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are terrestrial planets, being primarily composed of rock and metal. The four outer planets are giant planets, being substantially more massive than the terrestrials. The two largest planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are gas giants, being composed mainly of hydrogen and helium. The two outermost planets, Uranus and Neptune, are ice giants, being com- composed mostly of substances with relatively high melting points compared with hydrogen and helium, called volatiles such as water, ammonia, and methane. All eight planets have almost circular orbits that lie within a nearly flat disk called the ecliptic. The Sun. The Sun is the star at the center of the solar system. It is a nearly perfect sphere of hot plasma heated to incandescence by nuclear fusion reactions in its core, radiating the energy mainly as light and infrared radiation. It is by far the most important source of energy on Earth. Its diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers or 864,000 miles, or 9 times that of Earth. And its mass is about 330,000 times that of Earth. It accounts for about 99.86% of the total mass of the solar system. Roughly three-quarters of the Sun's mass consists of hydrogen, that is approximately 73%. The rest is mostly helium, approximately 25%, with much smaller quantities of heavier elements including oxygen, carbon, neon, and iron. Sun also gives us solar energy that can be used in many ways. The Mercury. Mercury is the smallest and innermost planet in the solar system. Its orbit around the Sun takes 87.97 days, the shortest of all the planets in the solar system. It is named after the Greek god Hermes, translated into Latin Mercurius Mercury, god of commerce, messenger of the gods, mediator between gods and mortals. Like Venus, the Mercury orbits the Sun within Earth's orbit as an inferior planet, and its apparent distance from the Sun, as viewed from Earth, never exceeds 28 degrees. This proximity to the Sun means the planet can only be seen near the western horizon after sunset or eastern horizon before sunrise, usually in twilight. At this time, it may appear as a bright star-like object, but it is often far more difficult to observe than Venus. The planet telescopically displays the complete range of phases similar to Venus and the Moon as it moves in its inner orbit relative to Earth, which recurs over its synodic period of approximately 116 days. So, Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun. It is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. As the second brightest natural object in the night sky after the moon, Venus can cast shadows and can be, on rare occasion, visible to the naked eye in broad daylight. Venus lies within Earth's orbit and so never appears to venture far from the Sun, either setting in the west just after dusk or rising in the east a bit before dawn. Venus orbits the Sun every 224.7 Earth days. With a rotation period of 243 Earth days, it takes longer to rotate about its axis than any other planet in the solar system and does so in the opposite direction to all but the Uranus, meaning the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Venus does not have any moons, a distinction it shares only with Mercury among planets in the solar system. So, now our planet Earth. Our planet Earth is a vast planet. Earth is the third planet from the Sun and the only astronomical object known to harbor life. According to radiometric dating estimation and other evidence, Earth formed over 4.5 billion years ago. Earth's gravity interacts with other objects in space, especially the Sun and the Moon, which is Earth's natural satellite. Earth orbits around the Sun about 365.21 days. Earth's axis of rotation is tilted with respect to the orbital plane, producing seasons on Earth. The gravitational interaction between Earth and the Moon causes tides, stabilizes Earth's orientation on its axis, and gradually slows its rotation. Earth is the densest planet in the solar system and the largest and most massive of the four rocky planets. Earth's outer layer, lithosphere, is divided into several rigid tectonic plates that migrate across the surface over many millions of years. About 29% of the Earth's surface is land, consisting of continents and islands. The remaining 71% is covered with water, mostly by oceans but also lakes, rivers, and other fresh water, which altogether constitute the hydrosphere. Because of this, Earth is also called as a blue planet. The majority of Earth's polar regions are covered in ice, including the Antarctic ice sheet and the sea ice of the Arctic ice pack. Earth's interior remains active with a solid iron inner core, a liquid outer core that generates Earth's magnetic field, and convecting mantle that drives plate tectonics. Within the first billion years of the Earth's history, life appeared in the oceans and began to affect Earth's atmosphere and surface, leading to proliferation of anaerobic and later aerobic organisms. Some geological evidence indicates that life may have arisen as early as 4.1 billion years ago. Since then, the combination of Earth's distance from the Sun, physical properties, and geological history have allowed life to evolve and thrive. In the history of life on Earth, biodiversity has gone through long periods of expansion, occasionally punctuated by mass extinction. Over 99% of all species that ever lived on Earth are extinct. Estimates of the number of species on Earth today vary widely. Most species have not been described. Almost 8 billion humans live on Earth and depend on its biosphere and natural resources for their survival. So now Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in the solar system. Being larger than only Mercury in English, Mars carries the name of the Roman god of war and is often referred to as the Red Planet. The latter refers to the effect of the iron oxide prevalent on Mars' surface, which gives it a reddish appearance distinctive among the astronomical bodies visible to the naked eye. Mars is a terrestrial planet within a thin atmosphere with surface features reminiscent of the impact craters of the Moon and the valleys, deserts, and polar ice caps of Earth. The days and seasons are comparable to those of Earth because the rotational period as well as the tilt of the rotational axis relative to the ecliptic plane are similar. Mars is the site of Olympus, the largest volcano and highest known mountain on any planet in the solar system, and of Marineris, one of the largest canyons in the solar system. The smooth Borealis basin in the northern hemisphere covers 40% of the planet and may be a giant impact feature. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are small and irregularly shaped. These may be captured asteroids similar to 5261 Eureka or Mars Trojan. Mars has been explored by several uncrewed spacecraft. Mariner 4, launched by NASA on 28 November 1964, was the first such craft to visit Mars, making its closest approach to the planet on 1965. In July 1965, Mariner 4 detected the weak Martian radiation belt measured at about zero point 0.1 that of the Earth and captured the first images of another planet from deep space. The Soviet Mars 3 mission included a lander which achieved a soft landing in December 1971. However, contact was lost seconds after touchdown. On 20 July 1976, Viking 1 performed the first successful landing on the Martian surface. On 4 July 1997, the Mars Pathfinder spacecraft landed on Mars and on 5 July released its orbit. Sojourner, the first robotic rover to operate on Mars, the Mars Express Orbiter, the first European Space Agency (ESA) spacecraft to visit Mars, arrived in orbit on 25 December 2003. In January 2004, the Mars exploration rovers named Spirit and Opportunity both landed on Mars. Spirit operated until 22 March 2010 and Opportunity lasted until 10 June 2018. On 24 September 2014, the Indian Space Research Organisation (ISRO) became the fourth space agency to visit Mars when its maiden interplanetary mission, the Mars Orbiter mission spacecraft, arrived in orbit. Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun and the largest in the solar system. It is a gas giant with a mass 1,000 of that of the Sun, but 2.5 times that of all the other planets in the solar system combined. Jupiter is one of the brightest objects visible to the naked eye in the night sky and has been known to ancient civilizations since before recorded history. It's named after the Roman god Jupiter. When viewed from Earth, Jupiter can be bright enough for its reflected light to cast visible shadows and is, on average, the third brightest natural object in the night sky after the moons and Venus. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and the second largest in the solar system. After Jupiter, it is a gas giant with an average radius of about 9 times that of Earth. It only has one-eighth the average density of Earth. However, with its larger volume, Saturn is over 95 times more massive. Saturn is named after the Roman god of wealth and agriculture. Its astronomical symbol H represents the god's sickle. Saturn's interior is most likely composed of a core of iron, nickel and rock, silicon and oxygen compounds. Its core is surrounded by a deep layer of metallic hydrogen and intermediate layer of liquid hydrogen and liquid helium, and finally a gaseous outer layer. Saturn has a pale yellow hue due to ammonia crystals in its atmosphere. An electrical current within the metallic hydrogen layer is thought to give rise to Saturn's planetary magnetic field. Strength is around 1/20th magnetic field, which is weaker than the Earth's but has a magnetic moment 580 times that of the Earth due to Saturn's larger size. Saturn's magnetic field strength is around 1/20th of Jupiter's. The outer atmosphere is generally bland and lacking in contrast. Although long-lived features can appear, wind speeds on Saturn can reach 1,800 km per hour and or 1,100 mph or 500 m per second, higher than on Jupiter but not as high as those on Neptune. So Uranus. Uranus is the seventh planet. Its is a reference to the god of the sky, Uranus, who according to Greek mythology was the grandfather of Zeus, Jupiter, and the father of Cronus, Saturn. It has the third largest planetary radius and fourth largest planetary mass in the solar system. Uranus is similar in composition to Neptune and both have bulk chemical compositions which differ from that of the larger gas giants Jupiter and Saturn. For this reason, scientists often classify Uranus and Neptune as ice giants to distinguish them from the other gas giants. Uranus' atmosphere is similar to Jupiter's and Saturn's in its primary composition of hydrogen and helium, but it contains more ices such as water, ammonia, and methane. Along with traces of other hydrocarbons, it has the coldest planetary atmosphere in the solar system with a minimum temperature of 49 Kelvin or minus 224 degrees Celsius or minus 371 degrees Fahrenheit. It has a complex layer, a cloud structure with water thought thought to make up the lowest clouds and methane, the uppermost layer of clouds. The interior of Uranus is mainly composed of ices and rock. Like the other giant planets, Uranus has a ring system, a magnetosphere, and numerous moons. The Uranian system has a unique configuration because its axis of rotation is tilted sideways nearly into the plane of its solar orbit. Its north and south poles therefore lie where most other planets have their equators. In 1986, images from Voyager 2 showed Uranus as an almost featureless planet in visible light, without the cloud bands or storms associated with the other giant planets. Voyager 2 remains the only spacecraft to visit the planet. Observations from Earth have shown seasonal change and increased weather activity as Uranus approached its equinox in 2007. Wind speed can reach 250 meters per second or 900 kilometers per hour or 560 mph. So, lastly, Neptune. Neptune is the eighth and farthest known solar planet from the Sun. In the solar system, it is the fourth largest planet by diameter, the third most massive planet, and the densest giant planet. It is 17 times the mass of Earth, slightly more massive than its near twin Uranus. Neptune is denser and physically smaller than Uranus because its greater mass causes more gravitational compression of its atmosphere. The planet orbits the Sun once every 164.8 years at an average distance of 30.1 AU or 4.5 billion kilometers or 2.8 billion miles. It is named after the Roman god of the sea and has the astronomical symbol like this one, a stylized version of the god Neptune's trident. Neptune is not visible to the unaided eye and is the only planet in the solar system founded by mathematical tradition rather than by empirical observation. Unexpected changes in the orbit of Uranus led Alexis Bower to deduce that its orbit was subject to gravitational perturbation by an unknown planet. After Bower's death, the position of Neptune was predicted from his observations independently by John Couch Adams and Urban Leverrier. Neptune was subsequently observed with a telescope on 23 September 1846 by John Gale with a degree of the position predicted by Leverrier in its largest moon, Triton, was discovered shortly thereafter, though none of the planet's remaining 13 known moons were located telescopically until the 20th century. The planet's distance from Earth gives it a very small apparent size, making it challenging to study with Earth-based telescopes. Neptune was visited by Voyager 2 when it flew by the planet on 25 August 1989. The Voyager 2 remains the only spacecraft to visit Neptune. The advent of the Hubble Space Telescope and Large Ground Based Telescope with adaptive optics has recently allowed for additional detailed observations from afar. So, thank you for watching this. So now it's a time for feedback session. So please see the chat box and be giving you the. Distance from Earth gives it a very small apparent size, making so. I have shared the feedback form link to everyone. Everyone can see and please fill up the details and